Summer responsibilities have kept me from posting a new video this week, but I did get to see the new mainstream horror that seems to be making some significant waves at the box office. News of the Black Phone's success is especially exciting because it is an original horror film that isn't a sequel or a remake, and we need more of those in cinema for the sake of horror's success. Here's what I thought of The Black Phone. Welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller. Before we begin, please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. The Black Phone is new in theaters right now. It's directed by Scott Derrickson and written by Scott Derrickson, C. Robert Cargill, from a short story by Joe Hill. It's 1978, and a wave of child abductions have hit a small town in Michigan. Dubbing the unknown kidnapper the Grabber, the town is on high alert as the number of young boys who disappear grows. But a young boy named Finney, played by Mason Thames, has his own problems. His father, played by Jeremy Davies, is an extremely troubled man who abuses his children, drinks too much, and basically neglects them, leaving Finney and his sister Gwen, played by Madeline McGraw, to take care of themselves. Finney is also the target of bullying, making every walk to and from school as terrifying as his father is. Distracted by all of this drama, Finney has no chance when the Grabber, played by Ethan Hawke, sets his sights on him. When Finney wakes up, he's trapped in a basement with a mattress on the floor and a disconnected telephone on the wall. Things start getting weird when the ghosts of the Grabber's previous victims start calling Finney on the disconnected phone to aid him in escaping. Meanwhile, Gwen attempts to track down her brother thanks to a precognitive dream power she has inherited from her dead mother. The Black Phone combines elements of It, The Lovely Bones, Carrie, The Shining, Pet Sematary, and a few other Stephen King stories that you might be familiar with. This is kind of odd, as the original short story is by King's son, Joe Hill. Still, this combination of bits and pieces of King lore works in making a wonderful mix of horror, suspense, and thrills. The way The Black Phone incorporates these varied concepts, the concept of the kidnapping clown, the psychic child attempting to solve a crime, the parent abusive because of their child's psychic power, the talking with the dead, it's all quite genius. All of these elements work together marvelously in concocting a highly entertaining and enthralling little film. A lot of this has to do with the way the supernatural is trickled into the story. At first, it's just about how the strange dreams Finney and Gwen have and how their father is steadfast against it. Because of this slow drip of paranormal from the beginning, the concept of a phone that can talk with the dead is less ludicrous. This makes a film that basically straddles the horrors of the real world and paranormal feel even and deftly put together. Yes, there are some definite real-life terrors going on, and I'll get to those in a minute, but it takes a controlled hand to make both elements work, and Hill, screenwriter C. Robert Cargill, and director Scott Derrickson are able to do it marvelously. Through some wonderful moments, using sights such as a breathing phone and the ghosts of the children failing to look at Finney in the basement, and sounds such as the intensely shrill sound of the phone ringing and the voices of the ghosts coming in as if they are being heard through a receiver. All of these small but crucial touches make the paranormal more tactile and immerse the viewer in this perilous, fantastical situation. At the same time, the real-life horrors are potent as hell. A lot of this has to do with an egoless performance by Ethan Hawke. Name another actor who isn't vain enough to require the film to show his face completely. Hell, even superhero movies have the character who is supposed to wear a mask to do their job has the actor take off their mask every 2 minutes. In The Black Phone, we never see Hawke's face completely. There's an outdoors scene where Hawke's face is obscured either because of camera angle or quickness of movement, but even then his face is covered with sunglasses. Still, in those scenes, his face is gaunt and white, as if he's never seen the sunlight once. That makes the actor's recognizable face unrecognizable. Even though he never bears his entire face, Hawke gives a performance that is iconic and should go down as one of the strangest and most terrifying modern movie monsters in recent memory. There's an intricately pieced together way Hawke plays the Grabber. He appears to have multiple personalities, a la M. Night Shyamalan's Split, incorporating the multiple devil masks to represent which personality he is experiencing at the moment. The mask, designed by Tom Savini himself, splits in two, so there's a part that covers his eyes and a bottom part that seems to represent a particular mood the grabber is experiencing. There's only one scene where Hawk only wears the bottom portion of the mask, a scene where Hawk says that he's only watching Finney while he slept. It's as if the portion of the devil covering his eyes is removed so the grabber is able to look at Finney without evil intent. The rest of the masks, one smiling, one frowning, and one without a mouth, all seem to represent the stages of horror the grabber is about to unleash. I'd love to see a documentary, possibly in a Blu-ray release, explaining the methodology behind each mask and the meanings behind each combination. I love the utter confusion and panic Hawk exhibits when the mask is taken off. It's a quick but wonderful little moment. At any rate, Hawk's personality changes every time he switches masks, and attention to detail that goes far beyond your typical slasher film. The rest of the cast is strong as hell too. Little Madeline McGraw is spunky as all get out as the sassy little sister. She's abused because of the power she has, yet has a spark of life in her and love for her brother that makes you automatically root for her survival. Jeremy Davies is a standout in pretty much everything he does, and this is a thankless role as the abusive father. Again, instead of playing him as a one-note abuser and drunk, the film does a fantastic job of humanizing him. I don't think the character's redemption is 100% nailed at the end, especially the way things turn out, but still, Davies adds nuance to a role that is usually unforgivable in this black and white day and age we live in. Derrickson, Cargill's go-to actor, James Ransome, has a small role. While it isn't as significant as his roles in the Sinister series, Ransome's constant furrowed brow offers a bit of comic relief in this extremely dour film. The rest of the child cast of previous victims are okay. They aren't required to do much, and sometimes the emotional levels aren't reached completely, but they do their part as spectral voices from the beyond. That leaves our star, Finney, played by Mason Thames, who feels like a less annoying Finn Wolfhard, but looks to be the spitting image of Brad Renfro at that age. Let's hope Thames' career fares better than Renfro's tragic life. He's definitely a strong presence and is equally convincing as the fearful teen and the protective brother. This story is about his transformation from victim to hero, and this transition is slow and believable. Thames has an effortless likability to him and lacks that annoying quality you often come across in child actors. I think the wonderful way Finney's world is unveiled to the viewer helps a lot in how much you empathize with him all through his transformation. The Black Phone is not perfect. I think the twist at the end complicated things unnecessarily. I already mentioned the father's redemption arc, which just isn't sold well. I also think that it's hard to believe Finney would be able to make alterations to the room he's stuck in without the grabber noticing. There is all kinds of damage Finney makes to the floors, walls, and so on in his attempts to escape that the grabber should have noticed immediately, especially since these modes of escape are suggested by previous abductees, so the grabber would have known to look for them. Still, these are minor nitpicks for a highly effective mainstream horror film. In order to make it mainstream, the extent of the crimes committed against the children are glossed over in favor of the paranormal calls, but there are hints to all kinds of physical, mental, and possibly sexual abuse committed by the grabber. It's understandable why these heinous acts are not delved into, and the vagueness allows you to fill in all kinds of dark deeds at the hands of the monster. Hawk gives an amazing performance and is supported by some wonderful kid actors. Both the real world and paranormal stuff works in tandem as well. The Black Phone may feel familiar to those experienced with King lore, but it certainly mixes it all up for a potent blend of mainstream terrors. I highly recommend it.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're doomed. Oh, you're doomed. You're doomed. You're doomed. Live the life that you are. inside that reality. Yeah. Oh, my baby, you're doing